Chapter 15. Men say that the Ashwata, the eternal sacred tree, grows with its roots above and its branches below, and the leaves of which are the Vedas. He who knows this knows the Vedas. In these words, Krishna presents a symbol used by men to indicate the universe as an eternal evolutionary stream, proceeding from a changeless source. This source, though changeless itself, produces change in ever-increasing differentiations throughout the great period of manifestation. When the limit of differentiation is reached, the same impulse gradually indraws all differentiations toward homogeneity. This evolutionary process is graphically symbolized in the secret doctrine as the great breath, with its periodical outbreathing and inbreathing. Neither the outbreathing nor the inbreathing, nor both together, describe or constitute the great breath, for these are actions by that which has the power to so act. As Krishna states it in this chapter, it is the primeval spirit from which floweth the never-ending stream of conditioned existence. The leaves of which are the Vedas refers specifically to the sacred scriptures of the time. At the same time, it should be understood as applicable to sacred scriptures of all times, for these are but formulations by men of portions of the eternal verities, formulations which present in concrete form such spiritual, philosophical, and ethical ideals as exist among men at the time of formulation. These formulations are here probably symbolized by leaves, for they shoot forth from the branches the three qualities, have their period of manifestation, and are replaced by other leaves. Its form is not thus understood by men. It has no beginning, nor can its present constitution be understood, nor has it any end. This sentence may be comprehended better if read in connection with the second paragraph of the chapter. It is even a portion of myself which, having assumed life in this world of conditioned existence, draweth together the five senses and the mind in order that it may obtain a body and may leave it again. This power to draw together and to disperse is that of the Supreme Spirit. It is the Self, the real man, a portion of myself in every human form, as well as in all forms. It is not thus understood by men who are bound by ahankara, the self-identifying tendency of the 13th chapter, but it may be realized by those who are free from pride of self and whose discrimination is perfected, who have prevailed over the fault of attachment to action, who are constantly employed in devotion to meditation upon the Supreme Spirit, who have renounced desire and are free from the influence of the opposites known as pleasure and pain. Knowledge of the Supreme Spirit comes from identification with it. Realization comes from dwelling upon the thing to be realized. The power to perceive is the very essence of our being. Our perceptions are not that power. They are the exercise of it. Our perceptions are the basis of our actions. It is because we identify ourselves with our perceptions that we are deluded and bound by the actions that flow from them. There are two kinds of beings in the world, the one divisible, the other indivisible. The divisible is all things and the creatures, that is, all forms and objects of every kind, since every form and object is composed of minor forms or expressions of life or consciousness. Our bodies, for instance, are composed of mineral, vegetable, and animal lives and substance. These are borrowed from the three kingdoms below us and are returned to them. Hence the term divisible. The indivisible is called Kutashka, or he who standeth on high, unaffected. In every composite form, and all forms are that, there is a synthetic consciousness which has evolved and sustains that form. That synthetic power is unaffected by any changes in the form. In man, Kutashka would seem to indicate the divine ego, whose divinity and spiritual nature remains as such through all forms and changes. But there is another spirit designated as the Supreme Spirit, Paramatma, which permeates and sustains the three worlds. As I am above the divisible and superior to the indivisible, therefore both in the world and in the Vedas I am known as the Supreme Spirit. He who, being not deluded, knoweth me thus as the Supreme Spirit, knoweth all things and worships me under every form and condition. Devotion through knowledge of the Supreme Spirit begins with the recognition that there is but one Spirit, the source and sustainer of everything that exists. As the Upanishads say, the self shines in all, but in all does not shine forth. The self is in all things, and all things are in the self. Whatever there may be of shining through any form or under any condition, that shining is from and of the self. If this is recognized and admitted, we must begin to regard all things and beings in that light and act towards them upon that basis. In this way we act for and as the self, and as we hold to and follow that practice, all ideas, habits, and desires that conflict become overcome little by little, until at last we have the supreme power for good that comes with selflessness.